Hey guys, welcome to Under the Arch Sports. I'm Eric Hobbs,
And I'm David Woldingen.
and it's time for us to take an initial look at Mizzou's bowl matchup. The Tigers are headed to the Music City Bowl to face the Iowa Hawkeyes. Before we dig into this, please guys go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and Spotify. So, fair warning, this is nothing more than an initial thoughts type of video. We will have a full preview later as we get closer to the game. So, David, first thoughts.
That I'm taking the under. Uh,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I think this is a good bowl for Mizzou. It's the game that never got played is really what it is.
Yeah.
Mizzou, Iowa were supposed to play at the Music City Bowl in 2020 when COVID shut everything down. Um, so I guess they're making up for that. I don't know. It's not the sexiest team you want to play. I kind of wanted Michigan or maybe even Nebraska. But honestly, I love the fact that it's in Nashville because it's always fun to go to Nashville. And for those Mizzou fans who are in St. Louis, it's an easy trip down where you don't have to fly or anything. And it just makes it easier for travel so people can actually make it to the game.
Well, yeah. Couple things. This is not maybe an A plus location and matchup combination, but it's solid. You know, officially there's that group of six different bowl games that are, officially equal, but no one views it that way. The Vegas Bowl was always kind of an outlier, and it was weird to pick because, well, nobody is close to that, so you never knew what was going to happen there. You then had, gosh, the Gator Bowl seemed like a potential destination, but then you look at the teams that were up for it and what ended up happening. Ole Miss is going to the Gator Bowl. They're playing Duke. Missouri fans would not have been excited about going to Jacksonville to play Duke. Right? That's just the long and short of it. So it could, yeah, it definitely could have been worse alternatives because that's probably a less exciting team. And now you're talking about instead of 4 or 5 hours from St. Louis, you're talking, yeah, 3 hours in the plane or whatever it is.
Another one that could
So
have been a real interesting potential would have been us against Illinois,
yeah,
just
yeah.
for recruiting purposes, whatnot.
You know, I think there's a lot of people who were in my case last year when Missouri was going to the Cotton Bowl. I was living in Texas at the time. All right. They announced that. I said, well, shoot, that's 4 hours away. I can do that. And got a ticket and we went. Easy. With this being in Nashville, lots of Mizzou fans are going to have that type of reaction. Well, hey, it's an easy drive. Like you said, St. Louis, 4 or 5 hours, depending on where in town you are. So, not a hard destination for a lot of Missouri fans. That's important. It's interesting, David. Mizzou's played Iowa one time going back to 1910. They played in the 2010 Insight Bowl. Blaine Gabbert with the absolutely horrendous interception. 27-24 win for the Hawkeyes. That's it. Going back to 1910 for a flagship school for a state you border. That's peculiar. It's 7-6 Mizzou all time.
Well, and they had a series lined up, a home and home series, and I forgot the whole reason behind it, but it got canceled. Um, and I don't remember which school canceled it, quite honestly. But I want to say it was like early 2000s. I could be wrong about that though.
Yeah. Now, you you know your line at the beginning, take the under. This is one where both teams have their limitations offensively, and that's before you look at the NFL opt-outs. Iowa is maybe a little bit better throwing the football than they were in 2023 when they were a national punchline, but not much. And they just lost. their running back, Caleb Johnson, opting out, going to the draft. But David, Mizzou has their own opt-outs.
Yeah, the big one everybody knows is Luther Burden the third,
Yeah,
of course, opting out. And then the more important one, in my opinion, not to say Burden isn't, but we all knew that was coming, is Armand Minbu, who declared for the draft and is choosing to opt out of the bowl game.
starting
And
right
that's it.
tackle.
Yeah, that's significant because he's a starting right tackle in what's Mizzou's best play, the stretch run.
Yeah,
So we're gonna get a heavy dose of Walters somewhere on that line, and I'm sure they're gonna shuffle people around. You might even see um who is it? Jake Lang and a few other guys step up and get
well,
chances out
so
there.
Lang is the signee, but they're
You're
Logan
right.
Reichert, Logan Reichert maybe.
Reichert's the one I was thinking of. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you. Uh,
So
I could see
yeah,
him getting a chance out there.
yeah,
Um, it's a good opportunity for some of those other linemen. Just throw them out there and see what you got out of them. But at the same time, you're not going to want to get killed in the backfield too. So I could see a heavy dose of Walters and then guys shuffling around to fill in that hole.
yeah. You know, it's one where yeah, both offenses I think are going to struggle because yeah, we'll get into the X's and O's of it, but both offenses are just limited and they've lost key pieces. So yeah, I'm reminded of when I went to the Iowa-Nebraska game in 2023, and some guys went viral because they went there just wearing white shirts that just said punts. It it's not going to be as terrible as that game was, but it could be one where first to 20 wins. You could have that situation. I will break down more X's and O's in our full preview, but David, just overall, I think this is one where maybe it's not one that's super exciting, but it could have been a whole heck of a lot worse in terms of destination and matchup. And it's an opportunity to get to 10 wins.
Yeah, and in my opinion, that's probably the most important thing because what Drink is trying to build to recruits and everybody else is a solid, consistent program. And what he shows if he gets to 10 wins, even if he doesn't, even with the 9 wins this year, he's showing that last year was not just a flash in the pan over Ohio State and all that, but we're right back into the mix of things. And if he can do that consistently, that's when you start building your hopes up more for the playoffs. Because we were a game or two away from the playoffs, but we weren't quite there because of many factors.
Yeah.
So by constantly building a consistent 10-win team, especially in the SEC, if you get 10 wins during the regular season, not just including the bowl game, you're more than likely got a shooter shot at the playoff.
Oh, yeah. 10 wins in the regular season in the SEC. You're right there. Bama, Bama, you know, name brand and all that could have an impact on things, but first team out at 9-3. So, yeah.
Right behind them was South Carolina. So
Yeah. So establishing not even 10 wins, although having that take, it looks nice. Back
mhm.
to back 10-win seasons. It furthers momentum. There's always a little bit more excitement and momentum in recruiting and head into spring ball and all that. A little more pep in the step when there's a new trophy in the trophy case.
Yeah, and all I know is it's football and in bowl season, which you never want to take for granted, especially in the SEC. So I don't care who we're playing. It's in Nashville. I might even make the trip down. Haven't decided yet, but whatever happens, I'm going to enjoy it to its fullest because these seasons don't come often. So let's take it for what it is and enjoy it. Um, we'll give you guys all the breakdown of the game and everything as we get closer to it. Otherwise, it's transfer portal week coming up. So stay tuned and we'll try to keep you guys updated with all Mizzou information there.
Yeah,
Um,
get buckle up.
yeah. And thank you guys for watching.